Hey there, Summoners, and welcome back to our channel. My name is Nathan Ning, and I'll be your host for the upcoming changes for patch 11.20. We do our best to keep you guys updated, and this video is part of that initiative. We'll cover all the upcoming balance changes and content coming up. Make sure you hit that sub button so you don't miss out on any other content like this, and let's go ahead and hop right into it. I already know why you're here. Nobody cares about the balance changes, right? It's all about the skins, right? With Halloween just around the corner, we've hit the festive portion of the year, and Riot is bringing us some spooky but charming bewitching skins for the next patch. It might be a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but I do prefer Halloween over Christmas. Bewitching Fiora, Morgana Prestige Edition, Nami, Poppy, Syndra, and Yuumi will be made available. To be honest, I find the Yuumi one a little bit creepy, but I think that just means that the artists did their job as well. With the skins covered, let's go ahead and talk about the game balance next. In case you missed our patch preview, there are a couple of system changes coming up. Before we start, Lord Dominic's Regard was initially part of the list of changes, but it was scrapped. Instead, we have a system buff for a different item coming up, and it's to Smite Healing. That said, Smite Healing will still receive a nerf next patch. The exact number is that the max health healing is going down from 15% to 10%. To compensate, however, the Gromp and Krugs will have their base AD lowered from 78 to 74. This takes away a decent amount of sustain from junglers, but also means that in the middle of the fight, smiting a camp will give you the same burst of healing as before. What this means is that Smite itself is a slightly less impactful spell than before. There will be rare cases where this nerf matters in the mid to late game, but it's a bigger deal in the early game, where you might have to try and smite a camp and either win a close fight, or for the healing while you're trying to make a run for it. Also, one last thing I want to mention is that Worlds will be played on patch 11.19, so moving forward, expect balance changes to be more focused on solo queue. By the way, with the season being close to finishing, I suggest hitting up a coach on our website, ProGuides.com. Our high elo coaches are trained to help you improve quickly, and if you want to make a last-minute push to rank up, don't hesitate to contact one. I promise they're quite friendly, and not all of them bite, unless you're into that, but they probably won't. Anyway, moving forward. Now for that new buff, Imperial Mandate is on the list for next patch. The initial hit damage will be increased, and it's also getting a bug fix, properly providing kill credit to whoever hits the mark. These are both nice buffs, and the damage buff especially should help diversify the support meta, which is currently shifting heavily towards enchanters. Support Maokai's return to power is just right around the corner. With system changes covered, let's go ahead and run through the upcoming champion changes. Starting off with the top lane, there's an upcoming Cinch nerf. Recently, his ultimate was buffed to apply grievous wounds, and he's become a massive threat as a result. Riot wants to keep this new feature, but also tone down his power a little bit, so they're lowering his damage on his E's AP ratio and base damage at later ranks. Next is another one for Irelia. Remember that meme, better nerf Irelia? She continues to dominate in both solo lanes, and her ban rate has consistently held its place above 40% for several patches at this point. Players have had enough of her, and Riot has taken another step towards trimming off excessive power from her kit. Her passive's AD ratio will be reduced by 10% next patch. This is a significant nerf, especially in the late game, and especially with her attack damage and attack speed builds this season. Yet another nerf coming up is for Shen. This one is rather minor, and his passive shield will be reduced by 10 flat at all levels. It's a modest nerf in the late game, but a significant one in the early game, where multiple uses of his passive allows Shen to slowly bully enemies out of lane. Winning trades by 10 less can really add up, but it all depends on how aggressive the player is and how often they go for these trades. Regardless, it affects Shen in losing in even matchups, but probably won't make a difference in ones that he already wins. The final top lane change is a buff for Darius, who has actually needed some love after the massive nerfs to Strikebreaker earlier this season. His W's cooldown will be reduced to 5 at all ranks, meaning that at rank 1, it's 2 seconds lower than before. This is typically the ability that gets maxed last, so this is a giant buff to the top lane terror. He definitely is going to come out a lot stronger than before, and I think this buff is pretty smart on Riot's end. His late game won't be any stronger than before, but he'll have more opportunities to pick up some early solo kills. Moving forward, we have the jungle. We have a blend of buffs and nerfs coming up to the jungle, starting off with Taliyah. Her nerf is straightforward, and her Q will deal 5% less damage on subsequent hits on jungle monsters. As a result, she'll simply clear the jungle slower than before. Support Mumu and Jungle Mumu have been popping off hard. To potentially push him back into the jungle, his Q's mana cost is being increased significantly, and the damage on the ability will be reduced next patch. It's a nerf to Mumu in both sides, but will definitely hit him harder as a support. Jarvan is currently one of the most dominant junglers in the game. After a massive buff he's been dominating, and next patch, the passive buff he received will be reverted to keep him in check. Next is a buff for Elise. Her base health and armor per level is going up, a little bit tankier than before. Elise should have an easier time filling her role as a dominant early game force. The extra durability will help her during skirmishes as well as during turret dives. Hecarim is also receiving a buff. Like Elise, this is aimed at survivability but targets his W instead of his base stats. His W's cooldown will be reduced by 18 at all ranks, and his non-champion healing cap will be going up by 30. This will also slightly increase his jungle clear speed. Once again, Riot is buffing Udyr. While our analysts expected a new unique change, he essentially is getting a revert to his previous nerf back in patch 11.12. His R's damage will go up significantly next patch, so be on the lookout and don't underestimate him. This is where I normally tell you guys about mid, bot, and support changes, but guess what? There aren't any. Tough luck, but I'm sure that we'll see the other roles get some love in the following patches. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments down below, and also click the description if you're interested in joining our Discord community. Anyway, I wish you guys the best of luck in your solo queue games, and stay safe, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day. Peace.